Alright, we are here with Phlage, Titan of Fire's Fury. It is the new escape thing. It's the red-white Uro. Escape 5 with the same, red, red, white, white, and then the one red, white for casting cost, just like Uro. Except all this does is Lightning Helix, and that's, well, pretty good. And red, white can kind of get away with doing this, it feels. I don't think this is as good as Uro. I think drawing a card is probably better than dealing 3 damage, right? That's kind of quite literally the only difference between this and Uro. But hey, that seems pretty close to Uro, and Uro was obviously a very strong card, so can't really get any closer than that, other than maybe, being in the same colors. So, it's really nice to have this in a red-white shell instead of a blue-green shell. So we have draw, discard, because we can play red, right? Blue-green can't do that, so we can play Cathartic Pyre and stuff like that. Bitter Reunion, discarding things, and then giving Phlage haste is pretty disgusting. In fact, giving Phlage haste makes me want the 3 damage more than the, the card draw, sometimes, right? Yep, the loots, the treasures, the white sweepers, the removal, and just try to kill someone with Phlage value seems pretty straightforward. Don't think there's too much to say about it, right? You're just kind of trying to get this into play as fast as possible, which involves drawing cards, discarding cards, playing a lot of cheaper cards. Your cards discarding other cards to replace those cards with more cards. I have Approach in here. I think this is kind of on theme. I obviously am biased towards Approach, so I'm going to run it in any chance I get, which means Key is also another Approach sometimes, which is pretty cool. I've seen Phlage played once, and they had a bunch of flicker effects. I don't think I like that. You need to cast them the very turn you cast this, and that seems kind of weird, because it still just goes straight to the graveyard. If you have nothing else to do on the backside of an Ephemerate, I just don't see why you would want to play that kind of card. Yeah, it turns Ephemerate into a Lightning Bolt, but you don't get the second Ephemerate trigger because this isn't in play. I don't know, it was just weird. My opponent just had a lot of flicker things, and I didn't see like anything to flicker except Phlage, so I just didn't get it. But we're not on that line of thinking there. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's just send it. It's pretty straightforward. So shutting down their commander is almost completely impossible. I don't think I like this hand. There's auras that stop it, sort of, but not really. So I don't like this hand too much. This kind of works. We do have this, too, which I've never actually used. We can Cleansing Wildfire our own lands, by the way. Okay, opponent has the best red card in the game. No, wait, that's Ragavan. That's Ragavan. This is probably the best 2-mana red card in the game. We need a second white. But this gets the white, right? This is only white? Yeah, alright, so red. I do a moderately good job at blocking this, too. Do I just play this to block it? No, I think I just let things happen. I could have Cleansing Wildfired my own stuff. That would have worked too. Alright, Punish is drawing creatures, I guess. Target player can't cast spells this turn? Okay. That's not the worst thing, I guess? It means I don't have Wrath of God this turn, which probably is terrible. But, we'll see. I'll force out a spell that might protect something. Because, again, if they're tapped out and I just cast the... I have the Prismatic Vista. I don't know why I said I needed a white source. My opponent Path to Exile their own creature. I don't really know why. That seems extremely unusual to me. They get the path right back. Maybe it isn't weird. Maybe it makes sense because my commander gets hit by it. Alright, I guess that makes sense. It just feels a little strange, but I can see the logic behind it, I guess. We don't have a permanent answer to Feather, though. I can kind of eat it again and then see what happens after the fact. I wonder if they Path to Exile it. I feel like they do, which is hilarious to me. Seems kind of funny. I guess I'll find out. I'm not sure if I like pathing my Feather, but I guess it works because it gives you the mana to cast it again and you don't lose Path of Exile. It's just really weird looking. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, I can get behind it. It's only basic, yep. We are kind of struggling against Feather continuously existing. But, let's see. So this... I guess I swing. They can't block because Phlage will just kill it. Let's play Phlage for 3. And then hope our opponent doesn't have an army of extremely powerful value cards and stuff. Phlage is almost ready to do stuff as well. Both of these are awesome, and I'd rather them mill this because Portal is just probably going to win the game. They just took 12 damage too, by the way. I think we're going to... I'm going to go to combat first before I make a move, I think. Because they swords, they block... Okay, no, I don't. I do not do that. We just do this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I lightning helix their face, right? We go to 1. Yeah, just send this here. And they're dead. Unless they have something they can do that I don't see. Oh, right. Never mind. They do have something. They have the sword, the Path of Exile I'm staring at. That I was like in my head just expecting it to always be a thing there. That's funny. Okay, they can't let me keep lightning bolts, but they can't let me mill anymore. So this should just completely win the game on its own. I don't think there's anything my opponent could do unless they one-shot me, which is not possible. Yep. Sweet, yeah, the 12 damage off the Embercool mill was really huge, but it wasn't super necessary, because, again, Portal is probably going to end this game on its own. But the 12 damage out of nowhere that my opponent had to accommodate for was pretty huge. Yeah, all of this is just good. Hopefully I can just surveil. I mean, I'll probably surveil even at a 1-drop showing up in my face right now. Alright, works out for me. Let's go get our surveil land. No. Need a land. Opponent hasn't shown me anything that I'd want to rip apart anyways. It's a lot of creatures, right? It's like a creature-heavy deck, so this isn't as appealing. Okay, I mean, technically this is a land. It's just not what I meant. My whole hand is super red. Guess I'll get another mountain. Leave up Discharge for the inevitable 2-drop mana dork. Send it. Please don't be into the north. Oh, shoot. Even worse. Alright. I guess I play Fable, or do I play... No, I play Fable. The treasure tokens just make sense here. And looting away things that might actually not have any text on them also kind of makes sense. Does this land come in tapped? It does. Unfortunate. It's basically impossible to color screw people. Alright, of course. Yep, look at that. Green, green, green. How exciting. Get rid of this and probably Cleansing Wildfire, because casting it is kind of the same as just getting rid of it, other than like blowing up a land. And I highly doubt my opponent's going to block, as the Greeters is pretty good. Kind of interesting if they blocked. I do get to kill something anyways, but I think it makes more sense to play this right now. So I will. Lightning Helixing one of these is not that appealing. I don't like this, and I don't like that. However, I mean, if my opponent bins this, I'm fine, but if I do draw it, I'm also not too upset, so I guess I'll put it on top. But they're definitely going to just mill it. Is this on cast or enter the battlefield? ETB, alright, so I can kill it in response to something. I mean, I'd rather not commit to killing this, but I don't know. Does my opponent even need more mana at this point, or did the green just do what green does and make it so trying to tempo out my opponent is completely impossible? As he has generated 2 treasures, and they can generate more. They probably have all the mana in the world. I mean, they have 7, right? So I don't know what costs more than 7. That's, you know, I don't know. Well over half my opponent's deck is obviously less than that. This is a very strange card. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. I forgot what we were playing against. I thought it was like a mono-green deck. Yeah? I can't stop the draw trigger, and I'm not really interested in stopping 1 treasure, so that's fine. They don't even make a treasure. Okay. Fair enough. I feel like I would have always made a treasure there without even thinking about it, so that's kind of insane. What does that mean? What does it mean when my opponent does not make a treasure? Okay, that has to die. I don't... Did they play their land already? Yeah, they just shocked themselves, right? It's pretty important to find this out. Yeah, they just shocked themselves. I don't have to do anything yet in response to that. This is a treasure token, so I don't have to cast this immediately. Like, this only taps once anyways. That was a pretty good draw, actually. That was probably a really good draw. Okay, well, we'll go to combat first, get our treasure token. Oh wait, no, I think my opponent can successfully mill it. So maybe it isn't a good draw. And I also want to commit this mana to Idyllic Tutor. So let's... I have to kill Scute Swarm. That's just a must-answer threat, right? I have to do this. I can just play my commander. It feels like I'm wasting the treasures casting this, which is probably kind of a miserable idea. Miserable thought to have. But I feel like committing it is fine. I don't know, I can just do it again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could just do it again. Tormenting Voice, yet again, another card I wouldn't mind having. Alright, no luck. So if they cast just their commander, they'll have 3 or 4... 3 mana. Or, I mean, yeah, it depends what the Risen Reef does. Maybe I wanted to kill that instead of the Greeters, I don't know. I mean, in hindsight, I guess. I would love to just swing with Phlage right now and just, like, kill the Reef. Maybe they block with Yarok. Oh, I love this. I love this. So, I will swing with everything. We're going to do this and swing with everything. And I can discharge my opponent's commander, or, you know, essentially just lightning bolt it. I don't know how they don't just block with it. I mean, it's got lifelink. Maybe they're scared of something. But if it's not blocking, it's not really that scary as just simply swinging. They just didn't block anything? Really? What are you scared of? I mean, it must be lightning bolt, so they really want their commander in play. Which really makes me want to do something about it, which is not getting Idyllic Tutor. Excuse me, whatchamacallit? If they have a counter spell, I'm kind of screwed, but it looks like some sort of removal spell. I just don't want Yarok to exist, I think. I feel like it just... Given what just happened, it makes more sense to just get this instead of the alternative. I just don't like them being concerned with it living and just not blocking the free trade. So I'll just do what I can to stop it. Redain would be good maybe earlier. This is a creature-heavy deck. It's just not doing much here. Okay, they can't really let me mill anymore. I'm gonna kind of die to it. The Palantir has been just so good when it comes to feeling the graveyard. There's still some pretty strong ETBs that don't need to happen twice. Okay. That's really weird. That's a cool thing to double, but it costs a lot of mana. And I don't think the cards are free. Yeah, they're not free. That's like a heavy... Your Yarok wants to be in play, and then you want this just to tutor things that don't have a 0 casting cost is just like an insanely steep mana requirement. Put a card to your opponent's hand. Where's the other one go? Graveyard. So I want to bin the Emergent Ultimatum so I don't lose the game. I think that makes... Wait. One to my opponent's hand. What am I doing? They can maybe cast it out of the graveyard. I don't know how they could do that, but I guess it's a possibility. So I can kill the demon with this and the Phlage trigger. I can actually copy Heliod's Pilgrim. That's hilarious. I might wind up doing that, actually. Alright, so with that being said, let's start here. Whatever this 2-mana spell or 1-mana spell is, it clearly doesn't defend or kill anything. So I don't know what it is, but... Could have went to, like, my attack trigger to guarantee it first. Okay, looks like we got it anyways. This is... Yep, this is fine. My opponent has to recommit Yarok for a bunch of mana if they want it back, and that is totally fine with me. But they do get a free block, essentially. Okay, so it's just another chump blocker, essentially. Because that can't target anything. Oh, no, it picks it up. It picks it up. Never mind, it is relevant. Alright, do I lose now? 5, 6, yeah, I can lose to the correct mana source, allowing them to cast that. I don't know what I could possibly put on top. I don't know what I could draw other than, like, Reprieve off of this, and I suppose I must just do that. I don't think there's any aura or anything I could just copy that would matter there, like copying in response to them killing my creature. So, at this point, I'm just looking for a few ways to not die immediately. And so far, not so much luck. This approach doesn't matter anymore. I guess neither does Wandering Emperor, right? I don't think either of these matter. That doesn't do it. The 2 doesn't do it. Alright, I mean, yep. That's it then. Faithless Looting can get binned for free. Or just drawn. They're just going to let me draw. Obviously, they don't want to lose it for no reason. They just let me draw the card. I guess with that logic, I could have dug one card deeper and found Reprieve or something. Guess it was possible. Yeah, I guess that was possible. Well, the fact that they didn't just snap it off means they don't have it. Okay, that's extremely crucial, but they will get the land next turn. However, that land will come in tapped. So if it's the only source they have, that's also pretty good for us, I think. There is nothing I can do about this. However, I can give that haste. Alright, my opponent sees it. I can just cast this out of my graveyard, send 3 upstairs, give it haste, and then send another 3. I also, on my end step here, can make a second 2-2, so I can swing with that. And I can also just make another 2-2 if I wanted to. And I have a 1-1 counter here. If that has a breakpoint and some combat trick, there'd be 1 more damage here. It's not too difficult to parse out. I just don't feel like thinking right now. Alright, I mean, we're kind of the antithesis of each other. It's kind of funny. My opponent's probably a little bit lower to the ground, though. It's not favorable. I don't know what universe I hold up reprieve over casting Mind Stone, so... What on earth does this do? Discard a card, then heist. You heist forever? You heist forever, okay. Shoot, maybe I want that card. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. If the spell that I stole went to my graveyard, I guess, but it doesn't. The treasures are neat. That's probably not what we're looking for, though. So this taxes the front side, but not the back side, and that's just not super exciting. Let's get rid of probably Pyre. I don't really feel sold on dealing with this, honestly. Famous last words, I guess. And Reprieve doesn't deal with Kroxa, so I guess I will name Kroxa. So it's like annoying to cast, and they can't do it right now. And that could be, who knows, moderately crucial. Or my opponent just has Inti, of course. Why not? Maybe we're just supposed to run Inti. I don't know. It doesn't, like... I'm not trying to beat people to death with it. But it's like every time I see it, I kind of wish I just had it. I don't know. It's pretty good. I'll say that. It's so good, I probably have to kill it immediately. And I can just leave my commander in the command zone, so I think I will at least once here, just to cast... If I don't have anything to do next turn, it's fine to cast this again, in my opinion. Okay. Kind of worked out, I think. I also get to kill this Warmonger now. Robber of the Rich, another annoying red 2-drop. Excellent. I suppose that means I will kill the Robber with this, and now we'll leave it in the graveyard. I will just cycle the Curse. I'm not going to keep it in play, because again, the escape cost doesn't like change or anything like that. With this, I'm pretty sure the escape is still the same mana cost. I'm going to go ahead and assume it is and just do this now. This deals with that. Does anything else deal with that? What do I not like here? Oh, we reprieved the key back to hand. That's right. We reprieved the key back to hand. That's so funny. Because it was our key that they stole. That is super funny. If this dies, they actually do get their thing. Oh, okay, never mind. They can just connive. So they found the cards to do the thing with the stuff here. They got rid of Rankle. That means this card is, like, big sketchy. Big sketch. Alright, so I want to deal with this Wandering Emperor. It means Kroxa's coming in, but I don't know if I'm that concerned about that. Maybe I just play this and not care about anything? I do have Get Lost. This feels fine. Demonic Tutor is pretty good. I heard that was a pretty good card, so I think we'll keep it. I think this is a pretty solid card, I might say. One might say. Oh no, of course, why not? No more Demonic Tutor. I can still make treasures. I have plenty of ways to do that. There's no attack trigger, right? No. The map tokens are actually pretty good for them. Kind of. But I do have an answer to Kroxa, so. What are we getting rid of? White Sun's Twilight? Probably. Does my opponent even... Okay, I was about to say, is there like... There's a debate to like, do you even want to cast this in front of Phlage? I think it makes perfect sense to cast it. Let's see. I can do this to tutor for... Who knows what. This is awkward, actually. The map tokens make this kind of awkward. So I guess I'm going to get rid of the land. Okay. Demonic Tutor for... Let's see, I have 5, 6, 7, so I want my... I win the game card, probably. Splendor. And let's just pass, because I'm not going to get rid of treasure tokens. So we're going to get hit once. We can Wandering Emperor after the fact. Probably going to get rid of Tormenting Voice here. Discard would be kind of depressing. There's a discard spell right on top. And they're keeping it? No, there's no way, right? Unless they can get it right now. Yeah, they can't draw it, like, right now. I don't think you want to keep it. That's funny, though. It's like, Thoughtseize is a problem, and there was Thoughtseize staring me down in the face. Alright, so we get rid of Tormenting Voice. This is the weakest card in my hand. Take 7. And then, hopefully I draw a land. If I don't, I still can deal with this. I can actually just... It does exile it, too. Alright, get rid of this, right? That can win the game. That can win the game. That's a possibility. Alright, so we send this, and then Phlage should basically shut down the Liliana the Veil, so I don't have to worry about it just winning the game out of nowhere. Because they can't stop this, and I get to do it twice. Both triggers will kill this. So Red-White basically has no way to deal with Overwhelming Splendor, but they do have Feed the Swarm. Huh. I don't even know if I would have done it like that. I could have just held on to this. That's interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5. How do you like it, opponent? How do you like it? Taste it. And, yeah, let's just leave up our... Oh, wait, we can... No, I'm not going to lose Wandering Emperor to the Liliana trigger. Just to give this haste. I mean, that would kill this, but I think the surprise of Wandering Emperor is slightly more valuable. Especially my opponent forced to discard whatever they just drew. Yep. Nice. But we could have given this haste, killed Liliana, but, if something weird happened, like them finding Feed the Swarm or something, I would have just lost this to the attack trigger. But that's kind of the only card I'm thinking of that black and red have. There's no red card. It's basically just Feed the Swarm in black. It is warm. Very warm. We're on the draw. What is Jury? Wait, what's happening? What is this? Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a counter on this. Whenever it dies... Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, my opponent said hello before I did. Well, they said it so fast that it would be impossible for them to react to me. Play this. Although, it's probably a good chance I end up blowing this up, so maybe playing the mountain was better. I will kill that too. Yeah, alright. I guess I wanted to play the... Do I? Actually, you know what? No, because I have the Deafening Clarion. I think I want to land... I have 2 in hand. We do want to bend things for our Phlage. It's fine, I guess. Alright, well, hopefully we don't get, like, Omega punished for this, but I don't know how we would. I just want them to play their commander and have no way to sacrifice things. It's kind of the ideal situation here. That just discards? No, it generates 1/1s and 2/2s and stuff. Alright, well, this soloed me last time. However, this time I have an answer to it. It's whenever you sacrifice a permanent. So both the zombie and this trigger their commander. In what universe do I play this first? I think it's this universe, because I get to leave up the discharge. Excuse me. Sure. I mean, yeah, you literally might as well swing with that. I will block, and then kind of hope my opponent does more. It's for the Clarion. But they have a fetch land, which triggers their commander. It's kind of interesting. So it would go to 3. Okay, but I gotta hope they don't have anything. This is black and red, right? Yeah, there's no blue gotcha card. Alright. They could just make it a 3/3. And they might as well. It sends another damage to my face. I feel like that makes sense. Assuming my opponent also doesn't then have anything else. Because then I would lose if this was all I had, right? Because this would go up to 4. Does not appear to be the case. Never mind. Of course it's the case. Why wouldn't it be? Supernatural stamina. No. Alright. Take our beats and then maybe stabilize. Phlage does a very good job at stabilizing, let me tell you. Man, all these cracklands are pretty good with Jury. Jury's a neat card. They were willing to cast Jury in the face of my commander, which is very strange. But I suppose there is no downside to making them show me something. I do have a multitude of answers to it. It looks like they have something. Or they're just willing to do this just to push more damage, which is kind of reasonable too. Yep, they're just pushing damage just to send another to my face. Makes sense, I guess. Because otherwise you're going to crack it to cast this and not get a trigger at all. Decline. Man, if I had another land here, oh, it would be so dirty. Probably just be GG if I did, actually. Is this a shaman? It is a shaman. Wow. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature card in your graveyard without blitz. It always gets blitz. Okay. What does blitz do? Okay. That's really, really, really good. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. What happens when I do this? We can get rid of Leveler, I think. That's a cool card. I have not seen it before. Okay, when you commit crimes, sure. Might keep the land in hand just for Phlage later. Yeah, looting, I mean, when I mean Phlage. And there's no anything else to do. Yep, probably just bin this with this. Alright, yeah, they're just done. Phlage sitting here is insane, and they seem to be closer to Gix than anything, which is just like playing a bunch of 1s, 2s, 3s. Okay, so there's a lot of changelings. But there's not a lot of Lurgoyfs. Whenever one or more creatures deals combat, make a Tarmogoyf. Okay. Well, I guess this is a board wipe centric strategy. However, the rest of my hand is not too exciting. Like, at all. Yeah, alright, I think I can do better than that. And again, it's not too difficult to just find a sweeper as the game goes on. And what do you know, I just found one. I don't think I've seen Ragavan yet. It's been an hour. Probably want to kill this, not gonna lie. Get rid of Cathartic Pyre, I think. Boop. What is this? The copy thing? Sure. And then yep. So what do we got going on here? What do we got? Am I not understanding this? Whenever a Lurgoyf permanent. Okay, so very strange. Probably going to get rid of a land. I like both of the fetch lands. I don't think it matters what land I get rid of. Probably, I mean, they're identical, so. Fatal Push is good, so is Emrakul. Emrakul is actually hilarious. Why not? My opponent will now never know that they actually do not have Emrakul in their deck. If that was a thing they were, like, reaching for. Because it heists the real one, and they don't know what I took, so. We also do a good job at putting permanent types in our graveyard, so it could matter a lot. However, again, it could also not. There's a lot of Emrakul casts that don't win the game. We are, interestingly enough, fairly close to actually casting it. They found one of the Tarmogoyfs. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, I do like that, but no, we're gonna go get untapped white source off a red fetch land. Which means no surveil. And we will attack Foist. And we'll send this, probably get rid of Pyromancer, or the key card. All of these are fine. Actually, I guess I'll take this and get rid of this. So far, every key has been blown up. So getting off-colored cards has been kind of annoying, but it's still a mana rock that gets me closer to Emrakul, which I am pretty close to. So 5 mana is their commander, which I suppose I would not be too upset seeing. Alright, it's fine. If they pay, they can't play this. I might actually draw here. I might actually get a draw trigger. Everything my opponent can do right now is on 3. Nope, guess not. Hopefully that mattered a lot. I think that was a really good Esper Sentinel. I think it tempoed my opponent. Non-land, non-creature. Okay, so I could lose one of these. Yeah, I lose that. But they do know of this now, so whatever they choose to commit to could just be not ideal for us. Could just cast Phlage and get that going. It is literally a thing I can do. I can also get rid of the Wrath. When your opponent knows about it, it is, like, way worse. Way, way worse. I don't care too much about this Wayfinder, but I'd rather it not harass this battle. So that seems fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of the Wrath, because, again, when your opponent knows about it, it's like, it's just not doing what you want it to. Oh, I guess I could have swung first. Probably holding a lightning bolt for information. Yeah, I could have swung first there. Oops. Alright, this is fine. This is fine. This is also 6 damage, because it has haste now, and this has 6 toughness. So if they just cast it and do nothing else, it's really good. Same with this. It just dies to Phlage. How big is this? This is huge, but it has escape, so it might get smaller when they go to escape it. How close are we to Emrakul? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We actually can cast Emrakul, so we can just sit on it until there's a crucial turn in which it would make sense to cast it. They can escape away their own commander, so I can't kill it forever. I also almost like don't want to give Phlage haste. If it simply just goes face. So I feel like I don't want to do that. Alright, it probably makes sense to do it now. They did not cast their Bone Crusher Giant, though. Interesting. So, 1, 2, does matter. 3, 4, and 5. Sure. I'm not upset with this not killing the Goyf, but I'm going to try. But they must have something, because they did not cast the Bone Crusher Giant. But obviously it makes sense to commit to something here, right? Decline. There's nothing else I can do this turn. Alright, so I just pass. With this, they can actually get a Tarmogoyf, because they have a thing that can hit me. So my opponent navigated this pretty well, I think. However, their Emrakul might just be the end of their everything. We'll see. I don't know. A Tarmogoyf is kind of scary here. It's like a lot of damage, and obviously I got rid of my Wrath, because my opponent knows about it, so there's no reason to try to continuously commit to something that doesn't really work. Who knows? Maybe they're the type of person to immediately concede when facing down Emrakul. Alright, I guess I'll cast this. and exile this. And then swing here. Kill their commander. And then keep it in the graveyard. Move the command zone, decline. And is there anything else I can do? Not really. I don't know. I'm just gonna do something like this. Alright, that didn't do anything. I don't know. I just want to do something. Alright, so this is somebody who did not concede automatically to Emrakul, which I kind of wanted to kind of hope to happen, and it didn't happen. I need a card in my graveyard, and this exiles it, so the card in my hand does not allow me to cast Phlage. My opponent is 1 off from being dead if I choose to escape, or if I can escape Phlage and swing for 13. So it's the second part of Emrakul, it just existing as a 13/13 flyer. Alright, so no shifting woodland. Maybe they're doing some kind of combat math. They did not swing. Interesting. Oh, right, the Mesmeric Orb just gives me infinite Phlage. Maybe they didn't want to cast that. I feel like they probably did not want to cast that, because that seems like, not too good. Alright, well, I mean, yeah. They can't kill me in one foul swoop, and obviously putting them within lightning bolt range means any Phlage is a win, so. Any Phlage trigger at all, whether it's the graveyard or attack, just wins the game at this point. And I don't really like either card. Oh, shoot. I didn't have enough cards. I jacked it up. I'm sorry. Whoops. Don't think it matters, but that's funny. You need 2 or more cards. You can't just loot a single one. That's my bad. They need to gain life or kill both my creatures. And the amount of life they need to gain has to be absolutely insane. So, alright, this doesn't cut it. This does not cut it. Yeah, opponent sees it. But they get a trigger. I like it. They get another Tarmogoyf. Or is it 2 Tarmogoyfs? It's just 1. Alright. I like this. This is kind of cool. It just unfortunately doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't really, I mean, I shouldn't say it doesn't work, because it's green. It has green, so it can't... Anything green has the potential of working because it's in green, but... They didn't play any changelings to make, like, you know, the graveyard side of this matter. Right? From a graveyard from anywhere, put it in the battlefield. So if you mill changelings, or Lurgoyfs, they just go straight into play with this in play. This does cost 5 mana, so everything that you milled before you got to that point doesn't really count, and that's not really great. But Mesmeric Orb kind of offsets that by just milling a lot of cards. But yeah, we didn't see any changelings at all. Alright, it's the first Nadu game. It took almost 90 minutes to find a Nadu player. Don't know if we're too well versed against Nadu, though. I don't think that has changed. Oh, well, what's this? Is it just a Nadu Nothing Matters opener? Is it the can I go to bed and not think about anything? Oh, it is. It is not, actually. What am I talking about? Alright, so do they have a 2-drop? Does opponent have the answer? Nadu... I don't know. What do I do here? Probably always in... Oh, wow, they don't have anything? Alright. I kind of need this to be a thing if I'm to win this game. That's just, like, literally what I have to do with stuff like this if I want to win. So, opponent's playing Nadu. I don't feel bad about Ragavan. I guess I can play Jitte. It's, like, basically free. I don't know. It's not really doing anything, though. So now I need them to play Nadu and then not hit a land. That's kind of what I need. Kind of what I need. Alright, I need you to literally not hit a land, and I can maybe win this game. If you hit a land, well, congratulations, you win the game. Alright, you didn't hit a land, so... This can't attack or block, right? Oh, it can. Alright, so not as crushing as I'd like. Actually, you know what? I think I just pass. No, it can't. It can't block. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I messed up. It can block. It cannot block. Oh, I missed 5 damage. Yikes. Okay, that doesn't do anything. I jacked that up. That's my bad. Oh, please don't cost me the game. Oh, please. I'm not going to fire up the Jitte. I don't really know what that's doing. Alright, probably just cast this. I mean, they have counter spells. There's plenty of things I don't care about getting countered, though. Like this. Yeah, maybe I wanted to crew up the Jitte. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. I can cast my commander again, but I think I have enough to do that I don't want to do that. Just let it go to the graveyard. Yeah, I probably wanted to fire this up. We are kind of on a bit of a clock, right? Nadu can eventually become playable. Reprobation does do a moderate job at stopping that, though. Again, if that's what happens. Okay, Bristly Bill. Another annoying card. Probably have to reprobate. Although, it does stop all my attacks. So maybe it doesn't really matter if I, like, try to answer it. Because it's not, like, the one that's going to solo me. But notably, Phlage does not just kill it. I think I want to land here. I think I want to land because I got Portal. Let's see. Let's see. If I had the Jitte counter, we would be actually excellent. So that was a real mistake. Not getting a Jitte counter. That was actually a mistake, for sure. Okay, move the equipment here, and then swing, and just get the Jitte counter, and then Ragavan can repeatedly block. Or maybe they just block Ragavan first, and I just get 3 damage in a Jitte trigger. That also just works for me. Makes sense to me. I don't know. They have combat tricks, so like the size of their card isn't that crazy to me. Alright, they're going to let me keep Ragavan. This is probably reasonable. I don't know what excuse me, Ragavan is stealing that matters. Not really much of anything. And they have protection spells, so I'm obviously not going to kill Bill in response to anything. No pun intended. Okay, I just got to land. Alright, let's equip El Thingy. And then there's more certainty in casting this than there is Windfall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think I want to risk Windfall. I also kind of like all the cards in my hand. So I'll just run out Mind Stone instead. So Bill cannot block as long as the Jitte counter prevents it from blocking. My opponent should probably be at 7, though. Because I did miss an attack cycle, because I am dumb. But, who knows, maybe in some obscene, unrealistic universe, Portal resolves. I just don't know how that's going to happen. It also doesn't do that. Does that make sense? I feel like it makes sense. They have 2 cards left. Okay. Make it 1? No, no luck. Alright, I am interested in respecting Magic the Gathering cards, so let's cast this first. Okay, they did have a counter spell. Unfortunate. And now we're in the lose the game portion of the... Well, not necessarily. They did just tap out, actually. Decline or keep that in the command zone? We're going to keep it in the graveyard. They did tap out, so this works now. This works. So now I just hopefully never deal with Nadu. And I will force a trade. Can't block. with the Delighted Halfling. And the Jitte can untap a land, so it's like a treasure token at this point. It's kind of weird, but sure. Alright, there's two things on this that prevent it from doing anything. Alright, and now we just lose a game. Unless my opponent doesn't do anything. I don't know. Vorinclex. Alright, so they get one land trigger, but they might actually get hosed by Portal to Phyrexia. Maybe I did buy enough time. I don't know. Be absolutely insane to win this, but I mean, this is how I would do it. I just need this trigger to not do anything, I guess. I don't know. That is something, but it is not the thing I'm concerned about. And their remaining mana is green, so we know what it could be. I think we got there. Well, we got to do the thing I wanted to do to, you know, continue playing. Probably keeping the treasure token is better than the Jitte counter. You know what? I disagree. I'm just going to do this. Okay. So we hose everything. We can steal Vorinclex, which doesn't really feel too exciting, but it's something I can do. Opponent has to commit 5 mana to their commander again. But the Tidebinder does counter the portal trigger. And of course they can leave up Tidebinder. Why not? Why not? Just literally can't stop this deck from doing everything it wants to. It's ridiculous. So ridiculous. Okay, well, now Key to the Archive needs yet another answer. Or I need to find an answer. Phlage is not currently something I can do. Phlage can kill this, which triggers their commander, which is stupid. So, not really sure what I can do. Again. Just bank on this successfully killing the stupid Tidebinder. Alright, surely they don't just blind hit a green source. Wow, lucky us. And there is no incentive to do anything else. I guess I can do this. They get 2 triggers off of their Nadu, given what I know about. Okay. Sure. It's absolutely ridiculous that my opponent just finds... Like, whatever I reanimate now, they can just get, right? Yeah, they can just return that. So ridiculous. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, well, let's find a card that maybe does something very good right now. I don't know what it is, but... absolutely ridiculous. Like, I've had everything I need, and none of it matters. Does Crows and Grip do anything? I kind of prefer the extra turn, but, like, how do I get to the extra turn without losing the game? It's double blue. Can I generate double blue in any way right now? Tap, 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 play this. Have 1, 2, 3, untap land 4. I guess that works. Okay. Get rid of big score. Play this. And then the Phlage Jitte counter can do something. Right. I can untap 2 lands. Sure. Yep. I got nothing. That was just always going to happen. And then this stays in the graveyard again. I get my 2 counters. 1, 2, 3, 2 untapped lands. I get to cast this Time Warp. Okay, this is kind of massive. No lands in hand, so just get a Phlage trigger. Put them to 6. They have to block now. Oh, I can cast it out of my command zone. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can I kill them? I can kill them if they don't hit a land off the trigger, which doesn't seem realistic. Cast it again. Decline. Not enough cards in graveyard. This can't loot it away. I can just do the swing trigger and see what happens. There's no way to do what I'm looking for. Can I find it here? No, of course not. Here. And then swing. It forces a block. I don't know how my opponent treats this trigger, but we'll find out. Any number of non-lands with total mana 6 or... They don't really want to ever pick up anything of mine, so they'll probably just pick up spells. Never mind. Never mind. They currently have no way of gaining life. Yeah, Jitte doesn't gain life. I don't know. Float a mana for no reason. Yeah, that doesn't gain any life. So we can just play this and pass. Alright, so Phlage kills them, and they can only get 2 card draw triggers off of their Nadu. Right? And I don't know what they could possibly be that, like, gets them out of this. I don't really know what they could do. No idea. Tamiyo is definitely not it. Tamiyo is not it. I don't need to give my commander haste to kill them. So that's 2, that's 3. This doesn't do it. This doesn't do it. Alright, they go again. That does do... No, it doesn't. Phlage is a 3-drop. Can't do that to Phlage. Oh, tap a land. Alright, good. Getting the tax there. That's good, too. They have 1 more trigger. They choose to not use the trigger. I think putting the counter was kind of free. That's unusual. I don't know what that means. We did it. We did it. I beat Nadu. I beat Nadu in a long, grindy game that was like a third of our decks. That is insane. I mean, we're at 30, right? They're at 3. I did miss 5 damage, which means this last turn cycle was kind of... shouldn't have been a thing. But, like, the portal reanimating this kills them. And then simply casting it kills them as well. Neither of these stopped me from doing that. And, yeah, we just did it. We actually beat Nadu. What a crazy, crazy game that was. What a crazy game. I don't really know what else. Yeah, finding the way to cast the Time Warp was also massive. I'm glad I bumped into that one. For the opponent, I mean. Well, they stared at their hand for 20 minutes, so surely they have one. Nope. No dice. Look at that. Esper Sentinel still getting paid for. I have not drawn a card off Esper Sentinel yet. Oh, hey, Inti, what's up? How you doing, bro? You're pretty cool. I like you. Let's get rid of you. Making Esper Sentinel harder to pay for is also pretty good. And digging for lands is kind of useful. Alright. The hell isn't? Enters the battlefield. Under your control, blah, blah, blah. Graveyard, green, flip, blah, blah. Alright. Kind of weird. Do I kill this? Wait. No. I'm not remotely convinced my opponent can trigger this next turn. And it doesn't really flip into anything that I'm really concerned about at all. So that's totally fine. I mean, it simply dies to... Does it have... Like... No? Okay. No way you do nothing. Wow, you just did nothing? That's insane. Alright, let's get this and then Mind Stone. It's fine if this dies, I think. Yep. I'm not even going to kill your commander. I'm just not... I swear, it feels like people just generate the answer in hand. Like, I've never seen this card. Like, this is the first Planeswalker removal spell I've seen in 2 hours. And I happen to play my first Planeswalker in 2 hours. It's like, well, how does that happen? Come on. Come on. What is this? Give me something. What are these odds? I'm losing my mind. You know what it is? It's 102 degrees in my room. That's the main problem. I'm getting delirious. Well, Grist seems profoundly difficult to do anything. Like, to get it going. So I guess I can't be too upset that they had the perfect answer for my Planeswalker. Just kill Grist repeatedly. Seems like a good idea. I can cast this from the command zone again. And I kind of assume my opponent will cast their commander next turn. So I will just put it in the command zone and cast it again. And if they don't, well, I'll just send it anyways. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. My whole hand is like a bunch of answers for stuff. Just haven't seen any stuff I'm concerned with yet. Colorless is awkward with Phlage, but it so far hasn't been a problem. Oh, what's this? Alright, they did... Wait, what? They must have just drawn this. Maybe Scavenging Ooze, I guess? I feel like nothing my opponent does is too concerning. I'm interested in cracking this. Maybe it is Bojuka Bog, who knows? Alright, well. Yeah, alright. Did I activate this yet? No, so I can. It does mean this would shock me. Does that matter? Not really. Okay, I highly doubt this is what my opponent found, but it's a possibility. I guess. Let's... Actually, you know what? I'm going to get the other gate here. I think that makes sense. Is there any merit in just sending a sweeper? As long as your turn, mill 3, put a land... I feel like maybe just shutting it down completely is fine. It is just simply being removed with this strategy. Alright, and I'll just leave up this again and one of these. It's fine. Unless it isn't. Okay, appears to be fine. My opponent knows I have a in the command zone answer for this, so that I don't see as a problem. And we are certainly just going to send it. Alright, so now it stays in the graveyard. And we could just get the card to end all cards, but it is a black-green deck, so there are plenty of answers to this. But they have to find one. Make them do it. But our hand is sitting pretty well. Pretty stacked here. And so far they haven't done anything crazy. Which is... Wait, this exiles, right? It does. Yeah, it does. Okay. That has to be activated immediately, otherwise it gets shut down. Unearthed Stitcher Supplier, sure. Okay. Okay. Make them answer it? No creature-based strategy works. Funny enough, it makes sense to swing before you blow this up, because you get another damage. So, if they did have an answer, I think we would have seen it post-combat. Let's see. We could do kind of whatever we want, really. I think it's completely fine to just send this card. I'm just going to send it. But what do we blow up? What's the most relevant of these three? Probably the repeating Miller. mill card. It also puts my reprobate in the graveyard for unearth. Or, excuse me, escape. So that probably makes sense. That doesn't work. No ETBs. And it does really seem like a creature-heavy deck, so there probably is no answer at all. Okay, so I really, really, really like this commander. It's very fun. I love red-white control style things, and this is the commander to play for that strategy, right? This is perfect. I never even felt too bad about, like, not always having Phlage available every time I had the mana to do it. So, like, I know there's ways to get more cards in the graveyard, like, whatever that 2 mana artifact is that mills infinitely. Orb. The other orb. Yeah, you could play Mesmeric Orb to, like, always have Phlage, like, online. You can also play it to, run more flashback, more graveyard matter cards, like, what's the thing? Is it, yeah, Underworld Breach? You can play Underworld Breach too, right? That kind of undoes your Phlage escape cards, but that's kind of fine, because if you're milling your whole deck, you kind of want to have access to it, right? So you could play Mesmeric Orb Underworld Breach and do a red-white value explosive turn treasure token thing, right? You could probably go heavier into red and just do, like, mono red, pseudo red Storm with stuff, crazy stuff like that, but it's not really where we were going, and I don't think I needed Mesmeric Orb to feel good about how many times I cast Phlage. Maybe the old Emrakul is slightly better just because it has somewhat of a chance of getting into play, because it can discount itself, because we do sort of put cards in our graveyard, right? To a degree, for Phlage. Just discounting the other Emrakul by, like, 4 is still just fine. This at 12 is probably too steep. Maybe Ulamog is just better, because 12 is kind of hard to get to. It felt a little difficult, especially using treasure tokens that I generate to simply cast Phlage and not, like, leave them for this. But it did not feel difficult to cast Portal or Overwhelming Splendor, and that felt kind of fine. There was absolutely a way to add more mana rocks and stuff, I think, but I didn't really want to. I really wanted to stick to the ones that tap for color at the very least, because this is, you know, double red, double white, and then red, white on the front side. I think the 2 mana ones might be too good to pass up, though. I wasn't running all of them, right? I didn't have the Iron Crag in here. Right, so you could certainly run the Iron Crag over one of these, maybe even Firemind's Vessel, right? Like, the 2 mana add 1 is better than the 4 mana add 2, usually. So that's just a reasonable decision, in my opinion. The Warbound was in here, and I think there's, like, a couple other cards that do something somewhat similar to this. But I like this against what is essentially a mono-green format. This is a 2-beat green format, so this card just kind of makes sense. Everyone's ramping. Everyone's just doing things really quickly, so kind of makes sense. I know a lot of that green power isn't necessarily in land ramp right now, because there's, like, mana dorks into Nadu, but it's still probably fine to run this, but you don't have to. But I liked it. Overwhelming Splendor, yet again, just feels excellent. It's just such a good... There's so many answers to this that are creatures that no longer answer it, so it's just kind of funny that it works out that way. The Curse was good. What card did I, like, never see that I'm kind of surprised I never saw? I think there was one in here. Maybe not? No, okay, I think I did see everything. I added Inti and Lootmonger later, and the Inti felt good. Probably should have been in here to begin with. It doesn't need another creature to put counters on, but if you ever have, like, Esper Sentinel on turn 1, well, that stuff's going to draw you cards if they ever cast non-creatures. The Sweepers felt fine. I ended up adding more later. Felt like it was just better to do that. Wandering Emperor is probably no longer a card that matters, ever. Like, especially, again, Nadu exists. You're not ever going to minus on your opponent's commander with Wandering Emperor, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the card. So I don't really like Wandering Emperor. Probably, you know, blowing up the creature without targeting it, Nadu, is a much better thing to do. So that's probably where you always have to be. I like Destroy Evil. This was pretty nice. Blowing up enchantments makes sense. There's auras that this makes it feels fine to like blow up a Nadu aura. It's kind of fine to do that. Also, targeting Nadu if you have to is something you can do, and well, quite literally everything else that it blows up is totally fine. Thrilling Discovery might be too steep. I had Cathartic Reunion in here for 2 seconds, but I don't like the notion of discarding 2 cards. It's a little hard to do that sometimes. Not because I don't have the cards, it's because it's finding 2 cards that you don't want is a little hard, other than lands, right? It's like just getting rid of lands was really the only thing I felt good about doing with that, so I don't know if I like this too much. Don't really know. It could probably be something else. It is pretty worthwhile if it gets you to stay in the game, because your hand is bad, to, you know, top deck this, get rid of 2 dead cards on turn 8, and then draw 3 cards, and one of them might actually save you at whatever situation you're currently in, right? Well, reasonable if you think of it that way. The other MDFC land should have been in here, and it wasn't. I thought about it and forgot about it, but Valakut Awakening probably should have been in here, absolutely. Just honestly forgot about it. The protection spells for Phlage are kind of useless in my opinion. I don't really ever feel bad when this dies, so I don't like Giver of Runes and Skrelv, or any of the, you know, Lauren's Escape, anything like that. I just don't think I care if Phlage dies. It just never felt bad. It also never felt bad if it got counterspelled, which is excellent. Cavern of Souls is still in here, but excuse me, but it probably doesn't really have to be. I know there's some, an argument was it was 45 card weight and it was maxed out, so like if you don't want to play against Giga tier, just take it out of your deck, weaken your deck. But that did not seem to be the case with our opponents. I was not playing in tier 1, right? So I guess it's fine to just run this and not feel bad about it, right? I don't know how they changed everything. Someone was saying in the other deck I should have ran this, and I was giving them the reason why, so I guess I have to explain that in the intro instead of the outro, because not everyone's going to watch all of the end. But that's why I sometimes don't play it, because I want to have a weaker deck deliberately. But this just felt fine, I guess. But this is one of those commanders that doesn't need to play it because I don't care if it gets counterspelled. Not that I really want it to get through. It's kind of fine if it gets counterspelled for the most part. Obviously, if you could make the choice for it to not be, you would. But in this exact list with this exact commander, there is also a second reason to not run it. Not caring if it gets countered at all. That's pretty, notable. With that being said, obviously Nadu is everywhere. Therefore, blue is now everywhere and probably the second most played color, because Nadu is also green, which is the most played color and probably the strongest. Seasoned Pyromancer, another one that forces you to discard 2. It's a little annoying. And the backside of this is a little useless. I don't really ever felt like the 1/1s are doing anything. I don't think that's really a surprise, though, right? This isn't like modern, and you could maybe get those to be useful 1/1s, but this was not that kind of thing, especially with this dying, and then I just use it to fuel an escape, so I don't actually ever get the 1/1s. It's just kind of weird. Right, this is just a weird card with that in mind, but I don't know. If you're fine with the forced discard 2, it's fine. Obviously, if you have no cards in hand, then you just draw 2, and it's really good, but that's not necessarily going to be the case more often than not, especially if you're sitting on a sweeper you just don't want to get rid of. Galvanic Discharge is essentially a new Lightning Bolt. We could add Snowlands and run the other one that is a Snow Lightning Bolt that does the same thing. It's like a Shock or Lightning Bolt, but if you only want room for one, this one's just better because it doesn't have a snow requirement. There's no further use for the energy, and there's no way for me to proliferate if we were going super deep. But you could splash more energy-based cards in your deck, I guess. But for the most part, this is just another Lightning Bolt. It doesn't go face, but that's, Lightning Bolt 99% of the time also doesn't go face every time you see it cast. So it's just kind of another one of those.
blowing up mana dorks is very good, so I could probably put in more 1 mana deal 2 or 3 style red spells and wouldn't feel too bad about it, right? Because at the very least, if I don't need them, they're just more cards for me to discard to my loot effects, and I just kind of back to where I started. I added an MDFC land, so I guess I'll take out a mountain. I added the Valakut Awakening. It's just basically a mountain, right? Yeah, that's it. I recommend this commander. It's one of my favorite commanders of the new set. It's really good. It's grindy, and it gains you a lot of life. It's just pretty satisfying. To Lightning Helix spam is a fun thing to do, so we're doing it. So let me know what you thought about this list. If you have Phlage ideas that don't counter my arguments as to why I wasn't playing them in the first place, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.